Okay.
Yeah.
Diane Bowden.
Hello.
Tracy Showalter.
Hello.
Welcome to the Carrie Croft Show Holiday Edition.
Gosh, I'm back. You let me back, bitches. I'm here.
I mean, the crowd went wild for you. How could I keep you out forever?
It's not me. I think it's what's happening up here.
Whatever it is, it's going to stay.
Yeah,
it's going to stay. I am very excited to have both of you. I love the balance of your personalities, and I love the commonality of what you guys are passionate about. So it's just, there's nothing better here to me than this sort of balance and this harmony that we're creating together as a threesome.
I feel like we're gonna blow up on like PornTube. What's it called?
Pornhub.
No, what's
You
up,
know how?
Pornhub?
You know.
OnlyFans.
Well, we're gonna
OnlyFans
blow because they're
too.
gonna be like threesome.
They're
and
wearing
they're
a
gonna see
costume.
our name. And yeah, we're like role playing. We're
Oh my
like
God.
Santa's
The
naughty
mascot
little
fetish.
elves.
The mascot fetish is going to come for us.
They're going to start decluttering their porn.
Yes,
from our
their
tips.
toys,
My gosh.
their Trunko
gosh.
toys.
Yeah.
At least I know
Getting
I
it
would be number
organized.
3. They would be like, I want to bang her. She's loud and persistent. And like, what do we do with the 10-year-old homeless boy over here? I'm like, hey guys.
Wait, no. Fuck, marry, kill.
That's true.
Yeah.
They'd marry you for sure. For sure.
I'm okay with that.
man.
I
She's
think,
like, okay.
yeah, they'd marry you. They'd
they got
F
to
you, and
know
I'd be
me.
dead. Girl,
Dude.
be dead. Oh yeah.
I feel like they would.
It'd be a dude.
you
They'd look at both
seen-
of us right now and be like, "All right, just pick one."
Yeah, seriously,
Let's
they'd
just
be
kill
like,
one, F
rock,
one.
paper, scissors, either of us lose.
I don't think either one's gonna like. All right, so let's talk about this.
Okay.
I would love for this to be a balance of, ridiculous, organic antics, but also I want the viewer and the listener to walk away with some real sound perspective on how do I do this a little bit different this year?
Mm-hmm.
Because again, I'm feeling it, and I have gotten better though. So over time, I've personally adapted some concepts that have made my life a little bit easier. And there's nothing worse for me than being overwhelmed, where it's like, and I do this in life. So I'll be like, I'm either going to work out for an hour or I'm not working out, or I'm either going to go full board on this huge recipe or I'm not cooking at all. I've discovered with age and wisdom that like doing 20 minutes of a brisk walk every single day or something is more impactful compound effect wise than me doing that bullshit extreme thing. So the same thing applies to this. So this year I have taken I'll go for 20 minutes outside and put lights up. And I'll go the next day and do part of the and it's more enjoyable to inch by inch. It's a cinch, yard by yard. It's way too hard. So
not
and
what
I know
she
you
said.
guys, but that isn't what she said. But I know a lot of people can resonate out there with the feeling of just being overwhelmed with, you don't even know what the mental load. So let's talk through how we can help people out there enjoy. The bottom line is, let's enjoy the holiday with people we love. The precious moments we'll never get back, right? That's what's important. But then also the reality is we want to do cool things. We want to have it be zhuzhed up and look cool. How do we balance all that so we can look back on the moment and go, I did that right. I did that well. Actually, right isn't the right thing. I did it well.
Do you want to answer? My first thought with all of this is that you have to make the decision to do things differently. If you just are kind of half-assing it and saying like, I want to, but you haven't committed to that thought process, even visually, like writing it down on paper, these are the areas in which I want to be different. I think that, like you said, it's not going to be sustainable. You're going to go really hard in the beginning and then fall off by December. We're recording this in November, mid-November.
Yeah.
So I think that you have to make the decision to say, it's not going to be the same. I'm going to make changes.
I agree.
Yeah.
But in having, to your point, like having that end goal, but you have to strategize towards it. If we can talk about a vague concept, going to the gym, working out, like that is something that so many people are like, yeah, I want that. Like, I want a 6-pack. I want to look like that, whatever. Okay, what are you going to do? Every single day. It's the exact same thing. Having that strategy, having that desire, making the decision to do it. And also making a lot of decisions not
Well, I think
to do things.
I'm going to ask both of you this because I do think that's the key. So setting boundaries and saying no to things. And let's dig into, you guys actually see a lot of the details. Like you can say, okay, here's a commonality, here's a common denominator, here's what I'm seeing all the time. what do you see in terms of like, okay, here's how you can set the boundary and say no to things? Like for a layman like me, I'm thinking, okay, I'm not going to 10 Thanksgivings. If I'm not a great cook and I'm hosting, I may actually outsource. It's okay to ask guests to bring stuff.
Oh,
You
my
know,
gosh. Yeah.
just
You
or
should.
so let's. I want to get into like people need to walk away with actual like things that they can do or not do.
I have 6 and she has 6
Okay.
for like the 12.
Yes, the 12 days of making your Christmas amazing.
Yes.
Okay,
and I
let's
was
do
like,
it.
I'm going to give 12 like permissions.
Yes.
Like permission to
I love it.
Or
do
not
this.
to.
Or
Not
not
to.
Yeah.
to.
Okay,
So
Tracy, you go ahead and go
why don't
first.
you go ahead?
Okay. Permission to outsource food, whether it's from a restaurant or a friend or grandma or Giant Eagle buffet. Permission to do this. And I will back that up by saying, if you love cooking a Thanksgiving feast and you have the perfect dish for everything and these family recipes, and it is like the best day of your year, then don't outsource.
Yeah, agreed.
But it's for those little things where you're like, I don't want to make the fucking green bean casserole again. It's like easy answer, don't do it.
But it's you're talking to me. So Jamie, my friend, my really good friend, and my friend Jackie, they're great cooks. And we go to their houses and like it brings them joy to make food, and it brings me joy to eat it. It's amazing, right? But for me, if somebody comes to my house, it's probably not going to be even the greatest experience to eat what I cook. But that's held me back in the past because like when you're hosting, all of a sudden with hosting comes turkey, ham, stuffing, mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce, because that's what you have to do. Then a partridge in a pear tree, and then all these things. And then you're like, you put these shackles on yourself, right? Don't. Let somebody who knows how to do it better do it. And you maybe make the turkey or not, or maybe make whatever, whatever would bring you comfort and joy, and then let other people help. And I have in the past, recently, like last year, I had everybody bring a dish and everybody picked, and it was amazing. And they got there and I felt 100 times better.
I'm going to double down on that because like I love cooking and I love hosting, but I started using Cameron Mitchell catering for Thanksgiving. And I was really weird about it the first year. I was like 20 months pregnant with Shep. I'm like, I don't care. I'm not cooking. And it's been the best thing. And I've never gone back because it's so easy and it frees up so much more time to be present on the holidays in those moments. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
You know how long it takes to eat a meal?
Yeah. Right.
10 minutes maybe, but it takes hours to cook. I don't know. I'm not saying don't, but
Well, you're saying be discerning. If
absolutely.
cooking's your thing, then
Do
there's
it.
other things we'll tell you that maybe you can do. But if it's not, don't feel afraid to delegate.
Absolutely. Delegate and celebrate, bitches. I say it all the
Delegate and
time.
celebrate.
Delegate and
Okay.
celebrate.
Well, no, this is the thing. So I don't host Thanksgiving. We go to my aunt's house for Thanksgiving. However, when it's my job to take that over at some point in time, I'm going to cook what I want to cook for Thanksgiving. Yeah, people can also sign up to bring something, but if people show up and the green bean casserole, as you said, is not there on the table, maybe next year they're like, hey, I really wanted to eat that. Then you bring it. It's not my responsibility. I want to enjoy what we have. And so I don't need the pressure put on me to say, I need all these little things that are traditional. It's like, no, this is what Thanksgiving looks like for us. If you want something, you fill the role. I don't have to fill all of those roles. So again, I don't host, but that seems to be my idea of what it's going to look like.
that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
The thing about, anticipating all the needs and having all the right stuff when you're hosting too, I just feel like people get really caught up in that. And I see a different side. I see these China cabinets and like, well, that's the Christmas one or and I think the emphasis becomes so much on those things, like the china on the table and the placemats, than actually spending time together. And what it's like really, really about. People get so caught up in the minutia and the details.
I agree.
And again, I'm jaded because of the things that I see in these houses. I think I speak to a lot of that. It's very traumatic.
Well, and here's the thing with that is like if you have both, cool. Like, let's say you have a china set from your, great auntie that's got the, Christmas tree with the bears underneath it. And that's amazing. It's history and it's nostalgia. And it makes you feel amazing. I'm all about that. But I think what's paramount is the present moment and the experience. So if you have the present moment and the experience, and then I think those things are kind of like on the periphery that make it, that decorate it, but that shouldn't be the main character.
Yeah, absolutely.
The second thing that I have is for moms, depending on how many kids you have, or even if it's just you and your husband, you don't have to do all the things. You can choose one thing per person to do, make sure that thing happens, and then anything else that happens is lovely. But I think that was something that after we added our third, and again, it wasn't like I was asking a baby, what do you want to do this year? Yeah. But as my kids have gotten older, it's like we can't possibly do Franklin Park Conservatory and the zoo and all of the things that Columbus offers, which is really awesome and excellent. But I don't want the pressure to feel like we have to get out to all of the things. So what do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? My husband, do you want to do your work party or are we doing something else? And then we're good. And we don't have to do anything else. We can allow room for margin because I think that the pressure to do all the things, what is it? Someone said, if you couldn't share it on social media, would you still do it?
Yeah.
That's actually great.
Yeah.
But your point is even greater to me. And it reminds me of something. You're so spot on. So what as a parent, I personally, and I don't think I'm alone here, I will, in a moment where I'm quiet and alone, I will scan all the things like, okay, he needs to volunteer. He needs to exercise. He needs to eat well. He needs to know how to do a lemonade stand. The number of things that I think about trying to create this human that is going to be able to launch in life. And especially after I'm gone, right? It's really like an overwhelming sense of like pressure and whatever. But you're right in that your kid is going to remember just the moments that you spent authentically with them. So like, let's pick something. And like with Dane last year, we went to Bell Fountain to ski.
Oh, cool.
And it was painful at times. He was, 4 years old, but I made sure we went every single Sunday and we did it together and we're going to do it together again. And maybe skiing doesn't end up being that, but it's more this concentrated quality of a moment over these contrived thoughts that you have in your head based on your psychology of what's supposed to happen. So like dial into maybe like, what is your kid into?
Yeah.
What is making them smile? And then pick that or a couple of things to do with them. And then all these things you have, in your attic, may not necessarily really need to happen. It's like pick the quality and pick what your kid is going to want.
Did you do all the things?
When I was little? Not really.
Exactly.
No.
Or if you
And
did,
she doesn't remember. It's like,
not really.
It's like we're so focused on it and look at us as adults.
or
We're
you
like,
did it one year and you didn't the next. Like you didn't necessarily
And
do
that
the
was
lemonade
okay.
stand every summer. And then maybe you did once you got old enough to control it yourselves. But I think, again, we have to take the pressure off to say it doesn't have to look the same every year. Keep the few traditions we really love. And it's okay because who is judging us other than just what we're trying to cultivate here in this family?
And let's be honest, the lemonade stand for me is less of a memory and more of him understanding business and profit and loss and how to differentiate yourself. And that's all me selfishly wanting, he may not even be interested in that.
Sure.
Yeah, right.
All right, number
You're
3.
like, he gave to me permission not to see his family. I'm just kidding. I'm not allowed to say that. Permission to disappoint somebody, including yourself. I'm giving permission. Every single person in your lives, aunts, uncles, grandparents, whatever, everybody has these expectations of you. And I hear so many, mostly women, sometimes men, but my clients complaining about all this stuff. And if I don't do that, then like she'll be disappointed. If I don't have this on, it will disappoint, my sister-in-law who got that for me 10 Christmases ago. And I have to, there's so much pent up. First of all, back to your point, like you do all these things, but it's like, well, who said we had to do those things? I think a lot of it is social media. And now it's like, well, you were expected this of one person and this of another. And not everyone is going to be happy. You got to be able to disappoint somebody and sometimes yourself because you're going to make a mistake too. So that's my big permission thing that, you see these Hallmark holidays and real life is what happens in between those photos and those happy family videos. So just
You're going to disappoint them anyway.
no matter
like,
what.
let's be honest.
No matter
it's,
what.
It's impossible to make everyone happy. It is a fruitless venture.
It is.
So just don't even start on the path. You're not going to make them all happy.
Like people think when snow starts sprinkling out of the air and it's so magical that everything's going to be perfect for their holidays. And I'm like, here's the reality. It's not fucking perfect ever. So yes, but that's why I say amongst the holidays, I'd like to remind everybody, it's okay if you disappoint somebody.
Which is perfect for number 4, because I said you don't have to do everything with your in-laws. And I felt like this is so silly. I just read it in John Deloney's book, Building an Unanxious Life. And he talks about how it's okay to put up boundaries with your in-laws because what is the unit that you're creating and how do we keep it strong? How do we keep it healthy? And so maybe it's not saying yes to everything with the in-laws. And that feels really hard. I'm not discrediting that is a hard thing to do, but things do get easier. It's like working out. Let's bring it back to working out. It's always hard to go when you start bench pressing. It's always hard to run a half mile. But when you can show up consistently and you put your boundary up and you commit to it, it gets easier.
You know how many people are like cheering right now and like standing owing that? Because it's the in-law thing, and you can transcend that to a million different conversations.
Oh, sure.
But it's so hard sometimes. Like once you get used to it, you're like, okay, wait a minute. We are a core family here, and all this peripheral shit that goes on, actually not my circus, not my monkeys. Kind of is, but like you have to keep sort of like creating the boundary where you're not like excluding, but depending on the scenario, you may have, I mean, really, you have your own family, and I had Dr. Jim in here, my marriage counselor that I had. And, that was a big conversation. And it's like, you are now in your own family unit.
It's
to your
so
point.
hard to do that though.
It
I don't
is.
love that. I want to include, I would have you guys at my Christmas and Thanksgiving. I am all about bringing
communal.
I want everyone, this is crazy. I want everyone in the delivery room with me. I want everyone to see this moment, to be a part of this moment. So it is so hard for my husband, who is a little bit more private, introverted, to mesh with me. But again, it's about the compromise and what are we choosing to do? Everyone gets that thing. So
no, it really is. And meeting in the middle, right?
Yeah.
So, and I have lots of, you say that, and I can think of some couple friends of mine where the one, it was raised with, everyone's knocking on the door at dinner time. And like, and I love that too. Like, I love the, the random show up and the whatever, but then the husband is like most men, but again, it's not just a man thing either. Sometimes like I'm the one that if somebody rings the doorbell and I don't know who it is, like if it's like somebody like, selling Girl Scout cookies or something, I hide. I don't answer. And Brady's like, what the fuck? I mean, so I get it.
Yeah.
But you do have to sort of meet in the middle. And isn't it hard though? Like when you're raised a certain way, like let's say you're raised in a communal environment where everybody's around or whatever. I mean, you are morally offended that your spouse wants to spend time by the Christmas tree and a cup of cocoa with like his slippers on and nobody else. You're like, you suck. Like to figure that
you have
out
to do
though,
every day. That's the thing. Like,
it's
a little bit of you, a little bit of me. Maybe I'm gonna go do some things on my own. And also, I think that's really important, which we don't have time for.
That's a whole, and I agree, amen. That's a whole nother, I so agree with that.
Okay, 5.
I said permission for your nails to be naked.
Thank God.
Okay, it's fine. Nails.
Yeah, but
all of the outside stuff that like we don't have time to go to therapy and work out and whatever, but we can spend hours getting our nails done. I am sorry, I'm not signing off on that ever. And especially if you want to do it, great. Just don't complain on the back end that I don't have time.
Oh, I did these at the stoplight on the way here.
That's what I'm talking about. And it's not even a judgy thing. I don't care. I just hear the back end of it. I'm like, I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to I'm so stressed out. And I'm like, but you sat in a damn chair for 2 hours every 3 weeks.
Well, but it's not even just that. Like it's the toes, it's the hands, it's the spray tan, it's the hair. it's the haircut and color, and then it's the blowout, and then it's the makeup. I mean, truly, and believe me,
then the
guilty
outfits,
is charged
and
on
then
certain
this,
things, right? But those things take up a lot of time as well. And guess what? It's not going to make your Christmas merrier and brighter. That's more of a self-serving kind of thing. Maybe pick two.
Yeah. I think there's, that huge emphasis, or people, there's this big thing on social media right now that like, I feel better when I present myself in a different way. And everybody's different, right? I think some people really get tied to that, but then it sends the message that like, doesn't matter what's going on up here or in your heart or whatever. Like, as long as you look great, like, you got this. And that to me is just
Wah,
based
wah.
in,
It's not it.
insecurities.
It's really not it.
It's not doing anything for you. So like me looking like this and somebody else in some gown, it's not like,
girl, you look good.
Girl,
Don't even front.
hey,
You're crushing
You're
it.
crushing it. Don't even front.
crushing it.
Crushing it.
Number 6.
Are we on number 6?
Yep.
Okay, you don't have to post it all on social media. Again, this was so to summarize my last couple of months, we just moved. One kid was still in school in Powell. We moved out to Granville. I was driving him. My kids were in school in UA. We weren't sure that we were even moving, so that's why all those decisions were made last moment. But there was just so much chaos going on, and I had signed up for the Columbus Half Marathon within all of this. So I was trying to train, but trying to move, but trying to do my photography, but trying to do the podcast, like doing all of the things. I took on too much. It was very unhealthy. And then the half marathon was looming. I was like, I'm still going to do it. I'm going to show up. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it as I'm shaking. And then I woke up on that Sunday. It's raining outside. And I told myself, if you couldn't post you with your medal there at the end on social media, would you still do this? If it just you knew, would you do this feat for yourself? And I rolled back over. Because I wasn't. Sometimes the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes the answer is like, yeah, I want to challenge myself and I want to show up to what I said that I was going to do. I want to follow through because it feels good for Diane. But in that moment,
I love that.
it was, I need to sleep. I need to get rest. I need to get it together. This is not going to be healthy for me long term.
Amen.
So you do not have to post it to social media. If you can't post it to social media, would you still do it? And I think a lot of the things that we do during Christmas time are like that. Like, this is, why do we measure ourselves or our motherhood or our worth by that? And I'm not even just talking about, again, moms. I'm talking about anyone. Why do we get all the work done? I mean, I like to show up and present my best self because I look kind of haggard at home. However, I would still do this for myself.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's a really good one. Because I do see a lot of things on social media. Sometimes I'm like, you really get that dressed up and go make gingerbread houses and you're all in like ball gowns. I mean, more power to you. That's your thing. But it's like, wow.
It's your thing, though. I think
some people, I think it might be.
I don't think
it's
anyone's doing gingerbread and ball gowns.
I just think,
well, true.
Yeah.
That's whether we look at that and actually internalize, like, oh, like I'm not doing enough. I think that happening on such a consistent basis because we're just like scrolling.
Here's what I'm like. I'm like,
strolling.
thank God I'm not in a ball gown doing a gingerbread house.
Yeah, not a
like I'm like,
chance
damn,
in
better
hell.
you than me,
Maybe
boo.
next year. Maybe
Better
next year.
you than me, boo.
No, just
that
kidding.
looks fun.
If you're doing that next year,
I'm never in a ball gown. I am a jeans.
well, you know, when
girl.
I say ball gown, I just mean like
girl.
the
Anything
the
you
pl-
put-
like
put
the
together.
like the you all look real,
anything other than leggings is a ball gown.
So you're on number 7.
This is one of my unpopular opinions. Although a lot of my popular stuff is in my DMs, y'all don't see it because I've got like an underground community.
You should share it.
I can't.
You need to name it too, like
I mean, these people
the Tealy
get
Army.
these people. If you're one of them, I love you. Okay, not so you get gifts from Santa, right, on Christmas, right? If that's what we were choosing to believe. And then you get gifts from family and friends and blah, blah, blah. I am saying permission not to write thank you letters for Christmas gifts.
No, I wouldn't. I don't ever do that.
Welcome
People do that.
to the world.
People do that.
People do that. Now, not to Santa, I hope.
But they write thank you gifts for people for Christmas.
They write
I didn't even.
thank you notes for Christmas gifts.
You don't even want to get me started on thank you notes in general.
I feel like you should just say thank you and mean it.
I
And
feel
then-
like you should give somebody something and not expect a thank you.
I am so like thank you cards. I just wrote 2 of them.
What?
Oh my.
Because and it's a generational thing, right? So depending on who gives you the gift, you know, if it's a parent's friend or if it's what you're like, oh God.
Yeah,
and,
sure.
And there is the thought that like if they went through all of that to like go get you something and it was thoughtful, they just want to see like it feels good to kind of close the loop. I understand that too.
It depends on what it is.
Yeah. I think
agree.
you have to kind of like, to me, even though I am like the anti thank you card, there are certain situations where it feels good to send one.
Yeah.
But I am like the thank you card thing. I'm almost like, don't give me a gift because I have to get a stamp. I have to write something because my handwriting's horrible. I have to have a card. Like
A thank you call.
Well, what
Can we
what,
do that?
maybe,
Yeah. I don't know.
Like, okay.
A thank you
why?
text?
Hold on. Why do we have to check the box?
I don't know.
It's not saying we're not grateful, but we are checking a box by getting out
Yeah.
a card and putting it in an envelope. And we're like, oh, okay, I have to check that box because that's what I have to do because that's what society told me to do.
Well, you just gave me permission, so I'm not doing it ever again.
Permission to not do. Hey,
I'm doing
hey,
it.
anybody
wanna
that
do it.
gives
Uncle Charlie, you'll get your letter.
You'll do it for me? Yes.
no, anybody that is giving the 3 of us gifts, can we go in and just say, we're thankful. We love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We don't need to, you know, people that just have babies, don't expect a thank you card from me. I don't care what you got
Well,
me.
I know, but isn't that
I'm
like
busy.
that's where I feel and have felt like I needed to do it the most. And then it's like I just like don't send me one ever. I mean, I don't care what I get you. I don't want a thank you card. You don't have to like I don't want to put work on your plate because I got you something.
Exactly. Okay. And so
Damn.
like, can we cancel thank you cards right now?
We're going to do an Instagram poll.
Okay. We're
from this.
canceling.
We should do an Instagram
And we're
poll.
going to see what people think about, well, Christmas cards and thank you cards. That's a whole nother ball of wax.
I think I'm going to still send my thank you card to Uncle Charlie, but I'm not going to send one to you.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You
Yeah.
know?
Like, I don't need a thank you for, I know you're so thankful of this.
Yeah,
I don't
think
need you
people
to.
people know your heart if you're regularly interacting
Yeah.
with them.
Yeah.
These people that live states away that never see you and think you're just some asshole taking their money.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
sorry, I just made that really
I
personal.
was like, are people sending you money? Nobody
Yes.
sends me money. The hell?
thank you, Uncle Charlie.
Thank you.
He's
Oh,
not going to listen to this.
No.
No. Okay.
Uncle Charlie. I love you.
I'm going to send it to your Uncle Charlie.
Oh,
Courier, like
oh.
Paul Revere.
I am going
Send in
to.
that pigeon and it will get it there.
What do I have to do to get some money from Uncle Charlie?
Well,
Just be yourself.
have one more shot of Fireball. We'll talk. Number 8.
Okay, this is one. This is one. You can return that gift.
Oh, yeah.
Dun dun dun. Okay, so we
gonna-
always want to be
let's dive.
gracious.
Let's
We
dive
always want to be gracious and thankful when we receive. However, that moment, that interaction with the gift giver was what they were looking for. Hopefully we aren't greedy. However, now that it's mine, I can do with it what I want, and you no longer get say. And I feel extremely strongly about this because people are constantly going off the list that I've given them. You don't have to get me anything, but if you ask me and I give you an item and you don't get it, again, thank you, but I'm either going to sell it, I'm going to return it, I'm going to donate it, and I feel very comfortable doing so.
That's a very healthy boundary.
I agree. I think the whole gift thing, which I've fought for the last 2 years to do this, like, the Secret Santa where we can just give to one person. And it was like, it's been this like thing. And I don't understand why we're all just, here, Tracy, here's a gift card. Okay, Carrie, here's your gift card.
Exchanging money.
There's all this stuff that's like, it's taking away from, I don't care about the gift. I can get myself something if I like it. I would prefer for no one to give gifts and just have the kids get some things and like have an experience or do something meaningful. It just feels so just ridiculous to me.
What are your thoughts?
What I've said at the very beginning is how I feel like Christmas used to be magical. And I don't think it's because we were kids, because we're almost all the same age, except you. But, it's like you didn't have the doll that you wanted and you saw like 2 commercials and it was so exciting. You didn't have that. You had to wait 4 months. You didn't have Amazon where you could go to your mom's phone and, last night Olive's like, well, did you add that to the cart? And I put my phone down. I said, Don't speak to me like that. Okay? I ain't your mama. Just kidding, I am. I strongly feel that the magic has been taken out because of, as much as I love them, the Amazons and the Targets and the every sale. Now it's like Black Friday is in a week, but they're already having early Black Friday sales and they're pre-early Black Friday sales. And there's just...
No, you're right in that. In the fact that the kids understand, like when somebody comes to the door, Dane's like, is that for me?
Yeah.
Like it could be like something I ordered, like toilet paper on a recurring thing from Amazon. Like, is that for me? Is that a toy? It's like there's this instant thing.
Constantly. Well, and think about that. I mean, most houses, I know this is sick, but most houses get Amazon packages on a daily basis. So every day, let's say your kid is seeing Target and Amazon and whatever, and every single day. That's just something to them. So like boxes, magical boxes that appear overnight, it's like, it's Christmas every day in a sense to some.
Okay, so going back to that, there's someone listening and they're like, but what if my mother-in-law comes over and she doesn't see that in my kitchen when she's watching my kids? Not that I'm speaking from personal experience. But in that moment, if she asks you about it, you could say, I had several of those. It was so lovely. Thank you so much again. I'm so glad you thought of me. But I didn't need another one. I wanted to pass it off. My friend took it. Like, cause oftentimes with those gifts too, I'll pass it off. I'll ask my friend before I get rid of it. Hey, do you want this? To give it to a home that actually needs it.
Yeah.
I don't want to just throw it away in the garbage. I'm going to try and look for the best way to get rid of it. But I think that we have to stop managing those people's emotional, it's not baggage, but their emotional reactivity to our behaviors.
It's baggage.
That's someone else's responsibility. It's not mine. I have my own stuff.
I totally agree. I am so, and you know what's funny? So there's only certain people in my life that do this. And I really think it normally comes down to like the mother-in-law, the mother. Okay. Because I don't know many, maybe there's a sister here and there that's controlling or whatever. This whole weird thing about wanting to control something that you buy for me and you want to see it in my home, it's a non-starter for me. I will actually get it out of my house just to piss you off.
Yeah.
And this has happened to me on multiple occasions. And it's like, I in no world would ever go somewhere and buy a gift for you that was like something for you to put on your coffee table or something for you. Like, who am I? That is so intrusive to me that you're going to buy me a gift that's like, hey, I got you this really specific thing that needs to be a centerpiece in your home. And if you don't put it out, I'm offended. That to me is the opposite of gifts.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of the intent, and go fuck yourself. Like
Yeah.
I get so triggered by that because it's happened to me, and I'll have the same people ask, well, where's the so-and-so that I got you? Oh,
in the
God,
landfill.
it's in the fucking garage. And
Yeah.
no, but I've been very kindly confrontational where I will say, hey, I don't really want this stuff. So you can save your money. I appreciate the thought, but like, I've been very upfront with my voice.
What's the reaction?
The reaction is to still do it because the people who do it, it's about them and their emotional baggage and them wanting to be in the forefront or something to be about them. It's so weird.
Well, and we don't get to dictate the way that people spend their money. I've wanted to control that so badly with some people, just like, don't spend your money on this. Like, please stop. I don't get to make that decision. However, I get to make the decisions for what I'm maintaining, what I'm keeping inventory of in my home, and I get to maintain my respectful, hopefully, relationship with you. I can manage that to the best of my ability. Other than that, like, you're on your own. 'Cause
Right.
You're a grown up too.
My name's Paul, and that's between y'all.
Every time you say that.
Wait till I get the merch out. It's going to be a name tag. Hello, my name is Paul. And that's between y'all. And you're going to be wearing that shit.
My hat
number
started
9.
hurting.
Number 9. Thanks.
Permission not to have an elf on the shelf.
Oh.
Listen.
I love it.
Okay, but I'm going to say it again. This goes back to you said you feel this big overwhelm. Like, I have to do this. I have to do this. I still question, like, what magical force is telling us, like, we have to do anything. We have to. And I just say that even though you see all these social media posts about it, and sure, it can be fun. For me, I don't fuck with elves because I'm not doing the creative shit every day. I'm not doing it.
No. Yeah.
I'm not doing it. And I think there's wonderful moms out there who've got that energy and creativity and capacity. I ain't that mom. And if you're not, it's okay.
Yeah. And that's, again, it's not to take away from someone else's
Not at
desire
all.
to do those things. It's just, you don't have to do those things. I think that's that's what the whole point of this episode is. You don't have to do something just because society does it or you have to post it on social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
Okay, number 10.
You don't have to give your husband a blowjob for Christmas.
Yeah. Oh, I actually do because Mark has a broken arm.
Oh my gosh.
What's that have to do with anything?
Yeah.
He can't bang?
No. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Can he?
I don't know. But like, what's the blowjob and the arm have to do with anything?
Hand
Merry
job?
Christmas, happy birthday.
I said I might have
No,
to
I'm
give
just
him a blowjob.
Oh,
Because
because you can't give.
He
Oh,
can't.
he can't do it. He can use his other hand.
Can he? Yeah,
Okay,
I don't.
I'm sure he'll
I don't
figure it
have
out.
You would know.
Can I put that out there, the blowjob, or you're gonna make me edit that?
It's fine. I have two more.
Go, girl. I'm
Well, the blowjob was number 10.
10. Okay, 11, 12. 11,
Wait,
12.
do you have no more?
No more.
Okay, I have two more, and they have to do with going into the new year and New Year's Eve. So I don't know about you. Growing up, New Year's Eve was so depressing. I just felt like I wasn't doing everything. So then I went to see Lord of the Rings with my parents. And then, like,
Oh my God, now I'm depressed. Lord of the
oh,
Rings
to
with your
Outback
parents.
Steakhouse, and I would go to Lord of the Rings, which honestly, I would do it again.
Yeah, no
I
regrets.
would do it again. It was lovely. But it was like I wasn't doing what everyone else was doing. I wasn't with a bunch of people. I wasn't getting dressed up. I never felt like I looked good enough to get dressed. Like it was just all this stuff that came into play those few days leading up to it. And then the night was there. And then it was like, oh, you're taking that into the new year. So what I've done the last 3 years is we have two couple friends and we all just have comfy clothes on. We drink some wine, we have some food. And again, you don't have to do that with friends. You could do that with your spouse. You could do that by yourself. You can get something like a playlist on Netflix.
Hey,
Netflix.
Hey,
I'm
gonna net you lick me later.
Hold on.
I'm gonna net you lick me.
I think we're going to have the biggest pornography online and we're going to call it Netflix.
Oh my God! Wait.
Stop.
Hold on.
Copyright.
Hold on. Copyright.
Let's sign it
Trademark.
right now.
Yeah.
Mark Cuban, come for us. Netflix.
Netflix. Well, I'm not putting that out there. We're gonna save that. We're
Okay,
gonna do
yeah.
a porn.
Okay, we are. Okay.
So now two couple friends and I watch Netflix. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, we weren't invited.
No. But I think making the night something with, again, no pressure and making it not something that it's just another day. It's just another day. One year we were driving home from New York. It didn't have to be anything. It is just another day. It is what you make of it. And honestly, going into my 12th tip for you is that everyone wants to do New Year's resolutions, but the more I've learned about the human body, specifically female bodies, this is a time for us, especially in Ohio, to hibernate and to go slower. And actually a better time is when the spring comes along and it's starting to blossom, and so are we. And so it's better to kind of put those habits into place as seasonality and our body's rhythms are like in tune with the world. I don't know. The more I research all of that, it just seems like this is the wrong time to do this. This is when I should be slowing down. This isn't when I should be setting new resolutions and goals that I'm not going to achieve, and then I feel like shit because it's dark out and I don't want to get up early. But when the sun starts raising earlier in the spring and in the summer, like that's when I can, I don't know.
No, I agree
Am
with
I
that.
speaking
Well,
to you?
no, you
Yeah,
are.
absolutely.
But how I feel about resolutions is just it's a marketing engine, and I think it's very counterproductive and it's very destructive. I think that what you should be doing is just this constant incline on trying to improve yourself, and it should just be something you're doing in your universe that feels good to you, that has nothing to do with a calendar year or somebody's a commercial on what you should or shouldn't be doing. And I think it's such a betrayal of who you were that year to be like, okay, this is the year I'm actually gonna do it. It's like, well, wait, you just had 365 days of being you and doing your best. Now all of a sudden it's like you're going to betray that and look back and go, oh, I suck. I have a
like
whole.
that wasn't good enough.
It just,
now I
like a
have
whole
to
other-
do.
it's a
deep
whole
dive we
nother
could
thing.
do.
But back to what you said about the New Year's Eve, I'm so on point with that. So Brady and I love to get Thai's Asian Bistro or some kind of like Chinese, watch TV and get cozy.
Yeah.
Like I have never, you set yourself up for a weird failure there. You have this idea, you get real dressed up, and then you meet this prince or princess, and the song comes on and you make out and it's the best kiss of your life. And then you know, right off into the sunset.
Heck yes.
I don't have it all together. And also I do photography. So on my social media, it probably does look a little bit more curated, but that doesn't mean that it's always happy behind the scenes. Like I try to do a lot with my kids because I feel like when we're at home, I'm probably working or doing something else. So I try to take them out. That's my way of quality time with them, is the things that we go and do. So I just hope no one looks at me and is like, well, you had these 6 things and then you're doing the opposite. No, that's not the case. I really do like to spend that kind of quality time away and doing fun things. But you don't have to. And you can curate that for your own family.
Yeah. As long as whatever your social media is, as long as it's authentic to you, I'm not mad about it.
Yeah.
You know, I actually look at some nicely curated Instagram profiles and then I go deep into like, they're probably very, you know,
You go into
curated
their
down
rabbit
below.
hole.
They probably have no armpit hair. Their price smell real good. Like, you know,
You're
I get real.
such a digital voyeur.
I'm such a weirdo.
You're like, give me more.
I just totally
Well,
go
it's
into
out
it.
there. People put it out there.
As long as you're authentic, like I will never, ever have a problem with it. Like when you're not, and when I'm looking at something and I'm like, this is, then I'm like, this is cringe, but then I'll still look at it. So love to hate it.
Love to hate it. Love to hate
Ladies,
it.
this has been absolute fa-la-la-la fucking blast.
I just feel like everybody is gonna have the best fucking holiday.
And please, guys, once you watch this and listen and absorb all of the minimal greatness that has been brought to you by Diane and the Tea Lee Show, can you let us know how you feel about it? Because our goal here is just to make not only your holiday season, but every season in your life a little bit lighter and a little bit brighter.
a little bit lighter. Hey.
La 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 la. And on that note, if you're out there following me, please continue to follow me on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcast. And until next time, live lighter, be brighter, and keep fucking moving, y'all.
You know what we didn't do?
What?
Intros.
That's okay.
Okay.
My name's Diane.
My name's Diane.
I
Check.
should be like, hey, do you want to know who these people are?